Hey there fellow Factorians, Onerous here with my first Megabase finale. Yes, last episode we completed everything we needed to complete and we got these lovely numbers and of course space science just ticked over. There we go. Beautiful. One thing we noticed was our lovely little purple science. So we do need to check that, and to do that we will start researching some mining productivity and just give that a minute for the minute timer to go. So what I wanted to do this episode is just quickly run over the base, all the little things we've done, highlighting some of the key aspects on our build along the way, and then at the end I'll have a bit of a chat about what I think is going to happen next. And I got to say I'm pretty excited about what we're trying next. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. But first off, let's do a quick check on our purple science, because of course all this stuff here is backed up, so we've got to suck some stuff out there. We'll just leave those in our inventory. Yeah, it doesn't matter. All right, so we'll let that production happen and see how we go. We can have a look at the 5-second, but obviously everything changes really quickly. This should start climbing up. Anyway, we'll check back in a minute. So let's have a look at our base. We did start out. I don't even remember where we started out. Must have been somewhere around here. That's definitely our starting water. And I think we had power here, so it's probably, honestly, it was probably up here. It doesn't even know. There's absolutely no remnants of the very original unautomated base that we had going. Other than, I guess, somewhere along here we would have had, I think we had the smelting here, and that's why our bus starts here. So along the way we added in a lot of wonderful things. So we had our first kind of oil processing. We went down into oh yeah, that's still a remnant. This was part of the first base. I remember that. Oh boy. We got all these sciences now which are totally useless. This was our first little mall as well. Yeah, look at that. We cut that off a long time ago, and it's just been sitting here the whole time. This was our original science setup. It's all those there. There was a lot of things happening, and one of the key elements here was our bus. So we went for the classic bus. It's 4 lanes wide with 2 gaps in between, and as you can see, we've had this running from the very start, and it's just really nice and ordered, and it makes life so much easier when you're expanding. Speaking of expanding, one of the things that I probably would change when I play through again is how close everything is together. We can see here, especially these bits over here, like these have a tiny little gap in between, but there's no room for expansion. And like you see, when we get to this part of the game, like this is such a small part of the explored world that space is just such a massive non-issue. By spacing things out a little bit more and having enough gap in to kind of duplicate what we put, we could have saved ourselves a lot of kind of jiggery pokery along the way. And I think that's probably one of the key takeaways from the early game, is just to allow way more space in between what you build than what you think you need, because like I said, at the end of the day, space is worth nothing. You very quickly surpass the biters in technology, and I think that probably brings up a good point. Once we got to lasers, it was very easy to expand. Now, gun turrets need ammo, which is a bit of a problem, because if you want to expand out here, you then need to be lugging ammo out here and then belting it across to all these. And you soon find if you actually have a belt of ammo here, like that's a really long belt, and that would actually require a whole heap of ammo to back up. So you end up producing just way too much ammo, in my opinion. And by having the laser turrets, like all you need is electricity. And sure, it chews up a bit of electricity, but again, once you hit nuclear power, electricity is cheap. this Covarex setup, which I've got to say has honestly served us really well, and I'm quite happy with the way it's been going. Oh, we've even got a little backup of 235. So yeah, this Covarex setup was something I fiddled with, and I didn't go off any blueprints or anything for this. And the way it worked was, as long as the inputs then go into the inputs feed into the centrifuges before the outputs. So whenever this ran, it will grab a whole heap more, and then that puts a gap in the belt, which then they can output on. So that way, that stopped this backing up before we had a full range of 235. And as you see, we've still got 4.8k of uranium-235. And one of the things we didn't touch on in the Megabase is nuclear ammo. So uranium magazines use 238, of which we have. Where's our little thing? There we go. We've only actually got 548 of that left, because we do churn through it with this, but we are starting to see a little bit more building up as we're reusing the spent fuel cells. So there is a net loss in 238 in this system, just something to keep in mind. But it is very minor, and we haven't been mining this ore for a long time. I think it started off at somewhere around 7 point something million or 8. I can't remember. It was definitely around no more than 10 million. So we've hardly mined any of this out, and once we've actually started the Covarex, mining kind of becomes a bit of a non-issue. And I think at the moment we've set it up to focus on. No, I can't click on that to actually see what it was, but I think we were looking at, if this 238 ever ran too low, then we would start it up, which is fine, because mostly 238 comes out of here. So that little outpost provides all the power we need right across the ways. So let's have a quick check of our science. Double check our purple science now. 1 minute. Purple science, 1k. Look at that, beautiful. All our sciences are at 1k. What happened to red and green? We might have backed up on red and green a bit while we were swapping around. Looks like green is struggling just a wee bit. Let's go have a quick look at what's going on there. Where is green? Green is down here. Check if they're all working. They are all working. We've got heaps of supply. There we go, look at that. Suddenly we are out of gears. Yeah, that's that is an issue. We'll what I'll do is pop that and that. We'll just do that. That one won't be quite as fast, but that should provide the additional gears we need to keep these things going. What I will do, however, is maybe that. Let's see if that keeps it going a little better. Sure does, doesn't it? Looks like green circuits are a bit of an issue too. I think that is just a feed-in issue, isn't it? I've lost my mouse. There we go. All right. Yeah, it is a feed-in issue, and I think what the best option to do is actually reproduce this over here and have a second one of these up and running. Let's see if that's an issue for our belts as well. No, belts are a non-issue at this point. Yeah, because it's only got 2 components. All right, so the feeding the 3 components has actually been a bit of a struggle for one of these, which is interesting. Most of these are 2. We've got a few others that are 3 as well. But that hopefully will boost our green production Up over the 1,000. Yeah, there we go. Back up and running. Meanwhile, our purple slowly. Way to go with these short span run times. It's a bit hard to fully gauge what's going on, but I'll have a quick jog over to purple and see what's holding it up. Rails. It's always rails, isn't it? We just need so many rails, and these have multiple inputs, don't they? Yeah, they've got the 3 inputs as well, which is probably what's holding it up. Yeah, that's it. All right. So, I mean, all we have to do is copy all of this, and let's just pop down another. Oh, that is not a rail. That is the only problem. All right. Here is the rails. Let's just pop down a few more of those with somewhat of a speed bonus again, and this way that'll make up for not being able to keep up with the materials. I was going to say without the speed bonus it's actually just keeping up. Alright, so let's go back and have a look to see if that makes a difference to our purple science. See if that keeps growing. Oh, almost made it. Almost. 1k. There we go. Alright. Meanwhile, yellow science. Everything is just really on the cusp here, isn't it? Yellow science. Does it have the same issue? No, it's got ages in between. Not sure why yellow science should be slowing us down. It's like everything has what it needs. Which just means for this we will plonk down another run like so. All right. There's a couple of changes. We shouldn't be having too many issues. We could bring some modules down and fill up these final ones with modules, but honestly, this is the end of the base. We're running all these fairly consistently above 1,000. Nothing's dropping below, is it? Wonderful. All right. So that, I mean, we'll definitely calling this a Megabase, and we are right on the cusp. We kind of pushed the numbers as tight as they could go, but yeah, that's all we need to do. And that's the thing. Like this whole series, I've been like punching the numbers on the ratios, and I hope you've enjoyed that. Even though sometimes the math has been a little bit dodgy, but at the end of the day, like these are building to exact ratios is efficient, but it may not be an efficient use of your time. Like it's really simple just to whack in more and more assemblers, more and more construction, more and more outposts until you meet your goal. You don't need to calculate all the numbers, but I, for one, actually quite enjoy the mathematics side of Factorio. And yeah, it was quite a challenge. And I think that really brings us to the end of talking about the Megabase. I think there's a few other things that I quite like. This depot arrangement, I mean, I don't like that I ended up going on 2 sides. I could have just left it on 1 side and kept expanding. Because they still just come in and use the turnaround anyway. I put this other turnaround here. So we could just have it all in there, but the logic of these trains, I'm quite happy with the way we fill up with everything and then just start waiting until we run out. And the key there was having our circuit sending that information all the way out here to these stations. And that's one thing that I'm not sure I mentioned along the way, but building your rail lines from blueprints that already have the circuit wires connected allows you to do things like this really easily. It's pretty pointless that we're showing the base stats all the way out here, but Somewhere along the lines, you might want to use that for something else. You could have trains, for instance, waiting up here until the base runs out, which is great as long as you're feeding everything back to the base. But once you start getting to situations where, like this green circuit train is going between green circuits and the rocket control units, obviously if you left this one waiting in the green circuit bay, then the other green circuit trains aren't going to fill up. And yeah, I mean, this green circuit is a massive overkill too, I've got to say. We have 200,000 in storage, and our let's have a look at our lifetime production stats. We have produced 45 million green circuits in this play, which is pretty crazy. 135 million copper cable. Yeah, these are pretty good numbers. 1 million processing units. We never really went that hard on it. Other stats here. Yeah, look, everything was pretty good. What do we get up to on our tech science? Mining productivity 110%. Yeah, not bad. Nothing really to write home about. I'll leave the achievements until the end. Yeah, look, it was an interesting ride, and I mean, there's not too much more to say about that. It's about it all. I think if you've watched the whole way through, well, obviously, thanks for enjoying it. Well, I assume you enjoyed it if you kept watching. I don't know why you would keep watching if you didn't enjoy it, but I would really love to get some comments. Love to hear your thoughts on the whole process. If you have watched the whole series and you've enjoyed the content, I would love your support. You can see the link down in the comments below to Patreon, and you can help support me for just as little as $1 a month, and it's it just helps me create more content, and yeah, it doesn't cost much at all. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, if you've just been watching all these without subscribing, that would help me too. And where I'm going with all this, of course, is our next series. And I'm going to have probably a couple-day break. I'm actually recording this on Friday, so I'm going to have the weekend off. And next week we're going to start with a brand new series. And to do that, we are going to have a look at our achievements list and what things haven't I got. Well, I mean, that's one we can accomplish, but where I wanted to go was these guys. There is no spoon. So, there is no spoon is finish the game within 8 hours. And yeah, so what I want to do is not just start playing and try and do it in 8 hours. I'm actually going to do sort of 2 series, I guess. Look at that, beautiful. Let's finish that off. Yeah, we're going to do it in 2 series, and the first one will be a preparation series where we're going to go through and we're going to build blueprints for every individual chunk of base that we want to build to get to our rocket. We're not going to go so far as like get crazy with timings. It's not a speed run. We are just trying to hit that 8-hour barrier, 8-hour mark. So what we'll do is we'll just work through from the very first smelting arrays into a Kickstarter base, I think is the term I know Neilhouse uses, which is basically just sort of a mini mall, like what we did here, that gets all the materials you need to actually build your base. and then into oil processing, a blueprint for all the sciences, and then just kick along. And we're just gonna do 60 science per minute, so we'll see these very same kind of ratios happening. And yeah, I think it's just going to be nice and simple. We'll do all that in creative mod to begin with, and I'll explain that as we start the series. And then in the second half, we'll actually go recording absolutely every minute of gameplay, and we will just go through for 8 hours. So that part will at most be 16 episodes. If we don't get to it at the end, we'll think of something else. But hopefully by setting up all the blueprints beforehand, and even before you get robots, all it does is it means you don't have to spend time while playing calculating ratios or thinking about anything other than just popping these units in one by one and getting it up and running. We'll keep it very simple. There's a couple other achievements that we might get along the way. For instance, we're probably not going to build laser turrets, and we're probably not going to build solar panels. So I think these ones here should be a no-brainer. Maybe we'll get a locomotive within an hour and a half. Depends on the setup of our map, because we're probably going to need crude oil coming in from an outpost. But again, I'm not too worried about that. The main focus is to get that there is no spoon. Along the way, I'll probably I want to do a few more tutorial videos. So there's a couple of beginner series that I've got going with tips and tricks, and I'll probably start adding sort of one a week there on the learnings that we've got from this playthrough, which it's been great, and I've definitely learned a lot. And I hope you have too. So like I said at the start, if you've enjoyed it, give it a like, give it a subscribe. Feel free to throw a few dollars my way at Patreon if you're feeling generous. And most of all, I just hope you're enjoying it. And I really want to hear if you are. So drop a comment below. And again, thanks for your time. Hope you enjoyed it. We will be kicking off the new series on Monday. And I hope to see you there as we slowly work our way very quickly to launching a rocket in under 8 hours. I think at most we'll get to 15. That's pretty much a guarantee, but we should be able to get the 8 with our preparation that we'll be doing. So come and join me, and we will get there together. Thanks for watching, and this series, I think this is episode 82. So yeah, we've put some hours into this. You know what? I don't actually know how to see the statistics for this run. That if anyone knows how to show the statistics after launching a rocket, I would really love to know, because I wonder if a quick Google will tell me. Let's just see. Not the greatest viewing while I Google off screen, but all right. A quick Google from the forums. The achievement shows the time remaining. /time. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Bring up the console. /time. There we go. 3 days, 12 hours, 50 minutes, and 56 seconds. Yeah, that's a few hours. What's 3 days? 72 hours. 84. Let's say 85 hours worth of gameplay in 82 episodes. So as you can see, there's a fair bit of stuff done off camera. Yeah, we need to be drastically quicker to get the There Is No Spoon achievement. So thanks for hanging around. There goes another rocket. I think we'll call that a day for this whole series, and I hope to see you for my There Is No Spoon run next week. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.